Hi, I'm Katie at A Home for Healing Arts. Today we're going to make a salve. A salve is an ointment or a balm using herbs, oil, sometimes butters, and beeswax. It's really easy, and today I'm going to show you how to make a very simple salve using the Instant Pot, just in case you don't have a double boiler. First, I'm going to take my infused oil, which I made a while back. It's calendula oil. I'm actually going to strain it again because the first strain, it looks like there are still a few little particles in it and I want it to be clean. I've got a Pyrex 2-cup measuring cup. I've got a funnel and I have it lined with cheesecloth. I'm using 90 grade cheesecloth, so very fine, tightly woven cheesecloth. I've become a little bit of a cheesecloth snob. I use it for a lot of things, so you can see how tight this weave is. And you can get cheesecloth at a lot of places, generally about $4 a yard. I get mine at cheesecloth.com, which has good prices, and I really do love the cheesecloth. So I'm taking that cheesecloth and I'm putting it into my funnel, and that's going to catch all the particles. The 90 grade is important because you'll notice if you use cheesecloth, grades 10 through even 60 will have bigger holes, and sometimes things get through. So like when I strained the calendula oil a while back, I didn't have the 90 grade, which made me think I want something a little tighter. So that's why I use the 90 grade. Also, it's really pretty. So I've got my calendula oil, and this is a double infusion. You can see how beautiful and gold it is. A double infusion means I infuse the calendula flowers in, I used apricot kernel for this one, but you can use olive oil or avocado. And then I strained it after 6 weeks, and then I put a fresh batch of calendula flowers in and poured the previous oil over that, so it's a very strong oil. And I'm going to just pour it right through and so it's not that big a deal to have some particles. I want a cup of this oil, so I'm going to put this down and strain the rest real quick. And when you're straining, you want to make sure you give that cheesecloth a squeeze. This is how you make sure you get every last drop of your oil, because this is valuable. It's not showing up in the big light, but if you were to see close up, there's a bunch of tiny little particles from the calendula that are now caught in my cheesecloth, which I will wash and use again. And then I've got my cup of calendula oil. It's almost embarrassing how easy making a salve is. I held off making salves myself because I didn't have a double boiler, and then last year for a baby shower gift I got an Instant Pot. An Instant Pot is just an electric pressure cooker. So here's my Instant Pot. I don't need the cover for the process. I've got a couple inches of water in there. I am going to take my Pyrex measuring cup with the oil and put it into the Instant Pot, and I make sure that no water touches the oil. Then I take a 1/4 cup of beeswax pellets, and I'm going to add that to going to turn it on to slow cook, and we'll need it about 30 minutes. And now I'm going to stir this up, and as the Instant Pot heats up, it will start melting the beeswax. As soon as the beeswax is completely melted, that's when I'll pull it out. It takes about 30 minutes, and I'm going to stir it every few minutes. Here we are This is 4 minutes in. I just finished stirring it and the beeswax is still pretty solid. And this is 7 minutes in. You can see it's starting to melt. There's a little chunk there. So I want to give it a good stir. And this is 13 minutes. Okay, now we are 21 minutes in, and this is becoming pretty soft and liquidy. And here we are at 30 minutes, and it's just about perfect. Now I'm going to take the measuring cup out of the Instant Pot and pour it into containers. I know that the consistency with this process is what I like. If you want it to be a little thicker, you're going to add more beeswax. If you want it to be less thick, you're going to add more oil. And the way you test how the consistency is at this point you take your wooden stick and put a couple drops of it on some wax paper, and then you can put it in the fridge to harden it up, and you'll get an idea of what it feels like when you are going to put it on. Now at this point I could add essential oils if I wanted to. I'm not going to. This is a very simple calendula salve. This will work wonders for irritated skin. 1 cup of infused oil with 1/4 cup beeswax pellets yielded 3 4-ounce jars of salve. This has been cooling for about 20 minutes. It's still pretty liquid. So it's been about an hour and 15 minutes, and now it's got a very nice consistency.
Thanks for joining me at A Home for Healing Arts. You can also find me over at Halfling Ever After or visit my website.